This is the 2025 Genesis GV80. This is the most popular vehicle that Genesis sells, so they really wanted to make it even more special for 2025. And there is quite a few changes both inside and out, some engine updates as well. We're going to go through this whole car, and in the end, we'll talk about the price, the pros and cons, and the competitors, so don't forget to stay till the end. So let's get started with this vehicle and what's new. Starting off with what they said is very important, which is the Genesis logo. Now, it is a metallic logo. What you're noticing now is some more grooves that are inside this Genesis logo. And they find this to be very important because as you update your logo, you're also updating your brand. You're adding more products. And they've got quite a few products that they've added. Now, one of the things you're going to note right away, especially if you've owned a GV80 before, is this grille is different. So the first thing you notice with this grille is you're going to see the two-stripe pattern across the front, really nice and clean and updated and modern. But also, if you compare the GV80 from 2024 to 25, you're going to find that it's actually lower. You're going to have a new valance underneath. There's new skid plates. There are new colors as well, and we'll show you the dark green along the way. You've got new vents to keep this engine running cool, and they changed the headlight. So this is the new headlight design. It's actually crisper, cleaner, brighter, and easy to control. It's called the MAP system, a really neat staged lighting, and it's part of their signature lighting, which I think is quite nice and pretty. So overall, the body panels are the same, but when you go along the side, you're going to see, again, what you know, the two stripes. We all know about that, not just in the headlights, but also for the turn signals. Really crisp and clean. Further down, you're going to have three different tire sizes. Entry level on the 2.5 is a 19-inch alloy wheel. You go up to the higher trim levels, you'll have a 20-inch. And then if you go to the 3.5, you're going to have a 21-inch alloy wheel with this new block-style brake caliper that has the Genesis logo embossed. New wheel designs as well. I love the fact that they've made some changes. Michelin tires, all seasons. You get a really nice ride and long life out of these tires, which is good contact with the roadway because all GV80s are now all-wheel drive. So this tire is a perfect match for that. You're also going to see some updates to the suspension. Now, one of the things you'll also note is this chrome strip. This is also new for 2025. Right down the side, it's clean lines. I really like this. Also, the proportions are the same, but if you haven't noticed this in the past, this body line that comes right across the top is very sporty and keeps getting wider as it comes back here. It's all about making it look fast, sportier. So this is really designed to have a lot of purpose. And not just that, this vehicle really is quite nice looking. Chrome roof rails as well. So all of these are nice, clean, modern, sophisticated, and a major update for 2025. Now, privacy glass, very quiet inside. Two-stripe brake lights, really nice. All-wheel drive. This is a 3.5. This is our test vehicle. We will be driving the 2.5 at a later date, but right now this is all that's available to us. Upper wing with the camera integrated right into it. I did talk to the designer about the wiper blade being low. I said, listen, you got to tuck these up. It makes it look cleaner, and he actually said, great idea. So maybe in 26, they'll listen to you and I, and they'll make some changes. Genesis logo here in chrome across the back, clean and modern, and the GV80. One thing they also did is they put the exhaust pipe as a downspout. So what happens then is you've got the logo here. Do you see that logo again, that Genesis logo? It's right here, and they used it as a cover over the back to make it look cleaner. Also, it's lower. So if you compare the back of the 24 and the 25, you're going to see that this has a lower appearance to it. So beyond the exterior colors, and my favorite, this new green that they have, also available in matte, which I really love. But remember, if you order a matte color, it's important to get paint protection, because if you get a bug on it and you start rubbing on it, you're going to get a shiny spot, and then it won't be matte anymore. So make sure to get that paint protection and doe corners on that. The first thing you're going to notice when you get in this vehicle is the 27-inch OLED screen. Really nice, crystal clear, and you can get the navigation all the way across the screen. They know that you've asked for this, and they've seen this in the German cars, so they've started adding this type of technology. There's a lot of technology. There's going to be wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, so much more. Love the interior materials. They even have an interior material that's made of recycled newspapers. You can see that how clean this looks. Crystal clear. And I love these interior colors. In this case, we're looking at an ivory with blue. That is actually a dark blue leather, and you can see that dark blue leather here on the dash as well. They really thought about who's buying this car. So white exterior, creamy white interior, very sophisticated, very much an interior designer would put this together. And one thing you're going to notice is all of this lighting, this illumination can be changed as well. So someone has it set up for blue right now, and you can change all that into the settings. Now, one thing you're also going to note is the steering wheel has changed. This 3-spoke steering wheel, unlike the original 2-spoke that some people didn't like, well, now they've made it really sporty and clean, two-tone. So you have the dark on the outside, the lighter color on the inside, still beautiful knurled knobs, just all the detail that you don't think about. The crystal materials here on the buttons, crystal around each of the shifters. This is for the multimedia interface, which you can change, and you can see it's got everything that you need, including updated mapping services, Amazon, music. I mean, really thought about everything. Into the seating surfaces, both your passenger driver side is just touch, and you can set it up for you automatically. So they've really thought about who's using this. Each of the seats can be adjusted. I mean, this is really nice. This is the kind of thing you would see in a super premium car, and certainly not anything in this price point, which I think is what people don't realize. You can even fold the seats from here, as well as Genesis Pay. This is something new. You go to the gas station, you can press this button, set it up, so you can just press the button to pay for your fuel rather than getting out, getting your credit card and everything, keeping it nice and simple. All these things have been put together. Also, there is a mood creator. Now, that may sound kind of silly, but the fact is this is great. Vitality, delight, care, and comfort. This changes the lighting, changes the fragrance, changes the music, kind of gives you a feel of something. Sometimes we all have stressful days, and it's nice to be able to curate your mood based on what's available to you. And again, this is something that you're seeing in other brands too. The Lincoln, the Cadillac, they're all starting to get into this because they want you to feel that this is like your home, like a place to go to just have some peace and quiet. So as far as the map, you can see the map running all the way across. Really nice and clean. And you can change this and customize it how you want. When you connect Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it takes this portion of the screen, because that's all that it offers, and turns that into the Apple CarPlay. So if you're wondering how that works. Further down, you're going to have all of your major buttons, your climate control, which has been updated. Really nice. Underneath this cover, USB-C, 2 connections, wireless, and a 12-volt charger. Really nice and clean. One thing I really love is the Genesis key. They really have done some cool stuff. All of your buttons are here. It's nice, it's clean, and I think it's just really part of putting this all together is classy. Your shifter is the same, drive modes, the auto off is here, your locking differential, your cameras, and the cameras are here. And you can see it's an around view camera. It's crystal clear. You can even do this, and there it is. Boom, you can see all the way around. You can move it around so you can see what's going on. But we have the door open on the passenger side, that's why you're seeing that. But this is kind of nice to see what's going on around you so you don't hit anything. Of course, backup camera, side, whatever you need, it's all right there. Now, let's go back into this glove box. This glove box appears to be shallow, which is what we thought originally. Pull out this tray, and you have a very deep, lit glove box that goes way underneath. Just a ton of space. And I think that's important. I mean, everyone's got stuff, and you want to hide that stuff. Put your key in here. Let's take a look at the second row, because there is 4-zone climate control, and it's pretty impressive. Going into the second row, if you have third row seating, which is only available on one trim level, fully loaded, that's 3.5 liter V6, you would also get third row as an option. It's an emergency seating. You got to take a kid home, someone needs to get someplace, you're going to dinner, perfect. But if you need to get back there anyhow, you press this button, walk away, and the seat will fold all the way up for you, giving you that 40-20-40 split seating, leather seating surfaces, or you can go with the non-leather seating surfaces they call simulated leather. Really nice, easy, especially if your hands full, you got kids, whatever that might be. Getting into the second row, the space has not changed, but what is back here has changed. Starting with, I do love this blue leather. It is quite spectacular. And automatic blinds. Nice. Great when you've got kids or someone doesn't want the sun, you're going on a road trip. We've all got stuck in this seat where you're being blinded by the sun. Well, this will allow you to do this, especially if you've got children back here. 2 child safety seats on the outboard seating surfaces. In the center here, you can put a third person, or there's cup holders here. Inside here, more storage for whoever's going to put kids. They put stuff in there, they always do. White seat belts. I'm not the biggest fan of the white seat belts, but if you've got children, maybe you'll look at a darker color. Personally, I like the darker colors, but that's me. Behind the seats, you've got pockets. On the passenger seat, this is only on Genesis, Hyundai, and Kia products, you'll find the executive seating adjustments, which are right here. And this allows you to move the seat both forward and back. You can move it front and back for room. Really good if you've got someone in the back seat who needs that extra space. Going further down behind this beautiful center console, you have aluminum vents here. Behind the center console, further down, is your 4-stage climate control. You got heated and ventilated seats for the second row. Typically, you wouldn't see that unless you got into a really expensive car. And then you've got, of course, your climate change here. You can do an automatic climate, your fan speed, and then behind here, you've got more charge ports. There's tons of them, and that is a good thing. Under the hood are two different engine choices. The 2.5-liter turbocharged engine that has 300 horsepower now with 311 pound-feet of torque, standard all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 times 6.1 seconds. Fuel economy 19 miles per gallon in the city and 24 on the highway. And again, the 2.5 rides on 19-inch wheels, standard, 20 as an upgrade. The engine option is a 3.5-liter twin turbocharged V6 with 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 time is 5.3 seconds. Fuel economy 16 miles per gallon in the city and 22 on the highway. Both engines are backed by an 8-speed automatic transmission with a maximum towing capacity of 6,000 pounds. Now, the available 22-inch alloys are available on the Advanced or the Prestige for that 3.5-liter. Really nice looking wheel options. We're inside the Genesis GV80 with my favorite drive partner. Don't tell Paul Bryan, but it's Al Vasquez.
Hello.
Now, we've been riding together while Paul has been out and about doing his own thing. You know, we've driven a lot of cars, and we've driven a lot of Genesis vehicles, and they just keep stepping up their game to the level that I think the Germans have to be extremely concerned. We're talking, you know, the normal what you'd expect, the BMW, the Mercedes, the Audi, but also Lexus, Infiniti, Acura, Jaguar, Land Rover. You know, they're building great product as well. But you know what Genesis has done is what's unexpected. They call it their Korean styling. There's a whole mindset they have, but what they're doing is stuff that people aren't doing. They're thinking about the creativity of what you ask for, and they actually communicate with their buyers and their potential buyers to find out what you want. And that's why the 2025 is so different on the inside. We want the larger screens, but not crazy. I mean, you can go crazy. We've seen that in the Mercedes before, and it's just a huge distraction. Well, this is actually two screens. That's one. It's 27 inches of OLED. It's the first thing you see when you sit in the car is you're like, oh, that's an improvement. And since we're running Apple CarPlay, you can see that it appears to be two different screens. But when the Apple CarPlay is not connected, it is a full screen all the way across, and you can customize it. And so I think that's one of the first things anyone's going to see that jumps in the vehicle. What I'd like to do first before we go into all the technology and everything is talk about the driving experience. So we have different drive modes: Eco, Comfort, Sport, Snow, and My Mode. You can make it however you want. I'm currently driving it in Sport mode. We were driving it in Comfort. It was pretty nice. We're now in the Comfort mode, and the seat changes as well. So it's one of the things you'll notice is that the seat will change and pull back on the bolsters. And I changed the drive mode into Sport. The bolsters come in closer, tries to hold you in. So it's not just the shift points and the sound of the exhaust and the handling. It literally changes the whole experience, which I think is important because a lot of times you go to a Sport mode in a lot of the competitors, and that doesn't happen. It changes the shift points, the exhaust, and the handling. This just gives you that much more. Again, part of what the Koreans are offering. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of value. And we'll talk about that in the end, the pros and cons of this vehicle. It's got more horsepower, more torque, slightly less fuel economy, but that goes along hand in hand when you want more horsepower. You can't have it all. Now, this is not an electrified platform. In other words, you're not getting the 48-volt architecture, which gets really expensive. You're driving an actual engine, which I like, because if you're going to own this thing for a long time with that long 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, makes sense. And maintenance is included, the valet service is included. There's new dealerships that are out as well. So if you haven't seen a Genesis dealer in your area, look it up, because they opened, what, 35 of them? 35. That's a lot. I live in Buffalo. We've had a Genesis dealer for a while. It's a freestanding dealership. But you don't have to even go there. They'll bring the car to you to test drive it. I mean, not every brand's doing that. So back to the drive experience, the very confident feeling on the steering, no matter what drive modes. It's got monoblock brakes, so they're really nice and firm, but not over the top, just a nice grippy performance brake. They have IIHS top safety ratings. There's a reason why, is because they're putting their own materials into it and they can really control all the safety features that go along with this. Now, safety. Oh my gosh, the list on safety for this is unbelievably long. It is standard across the lineup. When you obviously buy the entry level 2.5, you're going to get some safety, but as you work your way up to the higher trim levels, you've got lane centering, you've got my favorite, best in market by a long shot is the blind spot cameras when you put on your turn signal right there in front of you. Love it. Smart park, it's got highway drive assist, backup intervention, blind spot camera. I mean, the list is long, and that includes not just the around view camera, but also the rear view mirror is a camera. You don't want it that way. Maybe you got no one in the back seat. You can use it as a regular rear view mirror. 14.1 inch head-up display, huge, great information, easy to read. But I really love this 27-inch OLED or OLED screen. Crystal clear, customizable. There's different themes if you want it on a safety theme or you want the navigation across the front. Where I used to say that Audi had the best navigation on their screens, everybody's got great screens now, but Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it is not wired on our test vehicle, but the products will have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto because you guys asked for that. That includes Google as well. This is just smart use of materials, trying to be as green and environmentally friendly as possible. As far as the interior, suede headliner and the posts, really nice. Leather, Napa leather on the top trim level only, otherwise it's synthetic leather, which is not really leather, it's synthetic soft material. Soft material touch everywhere. I mean, everything you touch, real stitching, really nice. There's a lot of nice features in this vehicle, including massaging seats, and if you're sitting in the same position for a while, it'll automatically kick in and stretch you a little bit so that you're not, you can shut it off too. But I kind of like it because we spend a lot of time sitting in these cars.
Yes. And
it's nice to have a little stretch. Let's check out the cargo space on this vehicle. That has not changed from 2024, 38.4 cubic feet of storage, which is a lot. Fold down that second row, which you can do through these power switches right here. 1, 2, done. It starts folding down. You're at 84 cubic feet of storage, which is one of the largest in the class, quite large. Bang & Olufsen audio speakers, there's 18 in the car. Premium audio with these metal grates really helps control the sound. I also like the Alcantara, essentially a suede material that is all in the headliner, just really nice and clean. There's vanity mirrors, both first row and second row, netting, and then underneath here, you can order a spare tire, but right now it's just additional storage, which you can have, or you could get a mini spare back here. But again, there's only so much space in a vehicle like this, so you got to work with what you got. There are a ton of competitors in this category. What they haven't stated is Cadillac and Lincoln, which I do think compete in this category as well. You've got the Porsche Cayenne, BMW X5 and X6, the Volvo XC90, Lexus GX, Audi Q7, Mercedes-Benz GLE, Acura MDX, and the Infiniti QX60. Remember, you're also adding in Jaguar and Land Rover. Everybody's got a luxury 2 and 3 row SUV, the third row being on the compact side. If you go to the full size, it's a completely different category. So make sure to test drive them all and check with your insurance agent before you make a final decision, because it's more than just the price of the vehicle. Now, there are some pros and cons before we get to the price. The plus side, so much value for this vehicle, which you're getting for your money compared to the competitors. It's beautiful both inside and out, and it is an amazing car. If you have not driven one, super quiet interior, and I love the unique materials and the use of those materials and the color combinations that you don't get with other brands. On the negative side, well, that third row is only available on one trim level, and it's sort of an emergency seat, to be honest with you, but if you need one, it's good to have it available. Let's talk about the pricing. For the 2025 Genesis GV80 with a 2.5 liter, standard is the entry level $57,700, goes up to $70,450, and that'll get you pretty well as loaded as this vehicle, but it's going to have the smaller engine. Step into the larger engine, which is a 3.5 liter, starting with the advanced package at $73,800, or the Prestige, which we've test driven, the one that's loaded with all the goodies that we all would like to have, tops out at $79,300. Compare that to the competitors, and you're going to find this to be an amazing value. Now, Genesis brought us out to Fort Worth to test drive this car, and I'll have to tell you, I'm impressed. Genesis has stepped up their game across the lineup. Every time I drive one of these vehicles and they tell us this is new, they keep surprising us with some pretty impressive technology, performance, and accessories that come standard. So make sure to decide what vehicle is right for you, but also all those accessories that you want and the ones that you need before you pick which vehicle is right for you. If you've got any additional questions about the 2025 Genesis GV80, put them down below. Let's start that conversation. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee or stay just a moment longer, and we'll give you a way to save some money on your cell phone plan. We appreciate your support, and you can reach me through all of the information down below: the website, the podcast, the book, and our social media. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Lauren Fix. Have you ever thought, why in the world is my wireless bill so darn high? What are we paying all this money for? Speed, coverage, data, access to 5G, unlimited talk and text, mobile hotspots? We are partnering with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers all of these features for as low as $15 per month. They're reimagining the wireless shopping experience and made it easy and online. No stores, no salespeople, just huge direct-to-you savings. Why should you pay more when you have access to premium wireless? Mint Mobile runs on the nation's largest 5G network. Whether you use your phone to watch YouTube, listen to podcasts, or play games, you get the same speed and performance as the big guys while connecting to Mint's network. How hard is it to switch your service? Big Wireless wants you to think it's hard, but switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones now have, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. And if your phone doesn't have an eSIM, Mint will ship you a new SIM card for free. Just go to trymintmobile.com/LaurenFix, also linked in the description down below, to get premium wireless for $15 a month.